This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
They like things the way they are, they don't want to see things change, and they have been the dominant voice at the table.
The group might be small, but they have a massive voice in Sarasota City Hall. Rancor and division within the city has been simmering for years. Some are calling for moving elections to November and getting rid of the weak mayor form of government, while others say no way. Tonight, we'll hear from both sides, along with a city commissioner who is opening up about her frustration at City Hall. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the issues facing Sarasota city government coming up. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin with a troubling sign of anti-Semitism on the Suncoast. Just days before the start of Hanukkah, a Sarasota synagogue has become the target of graffiti. According to the sheriff's office, leaders at Temple Sinai found swastikas drawn on a window, door, and shed on Tuesday. They were drawn with black marker and removed immediately. Deputies don't have any suspects at the time, but a rabbi from another synagogue says the incident is shocking.
It's a very sad day, especially it's during the holiday season, where we're supposed to show love and caring for one another.
Temple Sinai declined to comment on the incident. It plans to press vandalism charges. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office has made an arrest in a recent armed robbery. Deputies captured 27-year-old Tyrone Burns today. They say Burns confessed to robbing the Little Country store on 15th Street last week. He is also suspected in another robbery in Palmetto. Burns is charged with armed robbery. The holidays are a popular time of year for crime, according to the FBI. An average of nearly 400,000 burglaries take place nationwide during November and December. Here on the Suncoast, crime mapping shows there have been more than 30 burglaries just the past week. Many attribute the increase in the number of people who go out of town for the holidays. Some residents are taking steps to protect themselves.
Well, I always let a neighbor know that I'm going to be out of town. We have lights that come on and off at various times during the day. Also try to, if there's anything close to the door or windows where someone might be able to see in.
Bradenton police say you should also be mindful of social media posts showing your location, which can let people know you're not home. A local nonprofit helping those with HIV and AIDS is being forced to close its food pantry. The city of Sarasota is notifying Bethesda House it must stop distributing food because of zoning regulations. The organization has been providing nutritional food and services for hundreds of clients for more than 25 years.
You're making it more difficult for them to get the help that they need in a city that Christmas time, of all times, makes a decision that we need to shut down this food fulfillment portion of our program.
Bethesda House is overseen by Catholic Charities and St. Martha Catholic Church, which says they will continue to provide services to those with HIV/AIDS at the same location, minus the food. Siesta Key offers free rideshare services while drivers work for tips, and now the city of Sarasota is adopting the idea. Negotiations are underway with South Carolina-based Gotcha Rides. The head of Downtown Improvement District estimates the cost of the service at $200,000 and could be paid in part with money from the BP oil spill settlement. If all goes well, the service will begin in April, but some taxi drivers are not happy about it, and we'll have details tonight at 11. The government doesn't always handle money as well as it should, you think? But a new report finds our own state could be saving more than $2 billion each year. The Florida Government Efficiency Task Force says Tallahassee should spend taxpayer money more prudently. Among a list of recommendations for next year's budget, the task force says major reforms are needed in the way the state prisons are run, including releasing nonviolent elderly inmates earlier and giving judges more flexibility with sentencing.
It's become more and more of a bipartisan effort, less about, being weak on crime. There are some offenders that are actually going to be worse offenders by staying in prison without the rehabilitation, without the transition.
Suggestions from the group will be given to Governor Scott and lawmakers in advance of preparing for next year's state budget. Tonight is the annual Jingle Bell Run in Lakewood Ranch. That's where Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan is tonight, and he joins us live. Bob.
Alan, I'll tell you, this place was packed shoulder to shoulder just about a half hour ago. Now they've moved all the way over to the Lakewood Ranch Medical Center. That's where the start is of the 5K walk and run. They've already had the kids run. Yeah, the kids run was a little dicey at times, kind of crowded for them running. And I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful night though for it, as temperatures have come down quite nicely in the upper 60s right now. If you take a look at my graphics, you'll see that quite clearly. It's 60 in the mid 60s to upper 60s here. 73 now into Key West, and temperature 66 in Pensacola, 58 into Jacksonville at this hour. And we are anticipating temperatures to drop down basically into the upper 50s tonight, so not much of a drop from where they are right now. And we are looking at generally fair skies overnight, maybe a little fog forming late tonight as we move on in through time. The fog won't be nearly as thick as it was this morning or the past couple of nights. People dancing, he's having a good time. You having a good time? Yeah, he likes turtles, he said. Anyway, back to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, are we overdeveloping? How should we handle the homeless? Do elections need to be moved? All major questions facing Sarasota City Commission. But is the City Commission increasingly dysfunctional and unable to move the city forward? The story when we return.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Flooring Depot has been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties for over 20 years with the best products and installation. Flooring Depot offers carpet, tile, hardwood, and more. Before you buy, give us a try. Stop by our showroom or visit us on the web at bestvaluecarpet.com.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Sarasota, we're uncorking something special at Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room. Shop in a relaxed atmosphere with our wine specialists. You'll find 1,000 international wines, 200 under $20. National brand and boutique liquors at competitive pricing. Handcrafted beers. Stop by Michael's Wine Cellar and Tasting Room today and let us show you something exceptional.
We love Sarasota. Some even call it paradise, but for all its beauty, there are challenges. There's mounting frustration with the growing derision within the City Commission and the City Commission's acrimonious relationship with the County Commission, and it's making harder to get things done. Adam Cellini joins us with more. Adam.
Yeah, Alan, the recent departure of one commissioner for some of those aforementioned reasons has brought some perceived operational issues back into the spotlight. Sarasota City Hall is a tough place to push change these days, to the point that one commissioner is throwing in the towel. In a recent editorial, Suzanne Atwell announced her decision to not seek re-election. One reason? Micromanagement among her colleagues.
One of the biggest problems we've had changing things, we don't stick together.
Diane Hamilton has felt a lack of leadership in City Hall since Ken Thompson stepped down as city manager in 1988. 3 times she's pushed for an elected mayor form of government instead of a ceremonial title passed among commissioners every year.
Everybody thought he was the mayor because he ran the city. Okay, he was the go-to guy. If I had an issue, I could call Ken Thompson. There's nobody to go to now.
All 3 times, Hamilton and others in favor of a strong mayor form of government was shot down by opponents like former Mayor Molly Cardamone.
It's just impossible for me to think that one strong person can change the course of this city that I don't think really requires any change of course.
Cardamone says she doesn't see any problems, but she did help start the activist group STOP last year. A loud minority, Atwell says commissioners mistake as the sentiment of the community and let influence their decisions.
They like things the way they are, they don't want to see things change, and they have been the dominant voice at the table.
The group recently dominated a public meeting to approve an updated transportation plan for the city, raising questions about how city staff conducted their traffic study.
It's time to raise those issues, to look at it and figure out how we can improve our code so that we're getting the kinds of projects that people want.
Their wrinkle of doubt forced commissioners to scrap a plan years in the making.
And the 5 of them sit there and destroy it. They just destroy a plan brought to them by professionals who we hire, who put a lot of time and effort into coming up with solutions that we've asked for.
Changing something like that is not something STOP can do. All we can do is say, we see a problem.
STOP's flagship problem is the View project downtown, its proximity to the road being too dangerous for pedestrians. But Gabriel Hammond, a Sarasota native, worries commissioners are missing the big picture, his generation's future.
Some of those concerns are legitimate with the View, but trying to bring the city and commerce in the city to a standstill because of one building that may be too close to the road is a little bit extreme.
Also in a standstill, the city's homeless problem, stuck in limbo between conflicting city and county philosophies, though not urgent if you ask Cardamone.
It's not a perfect system, but it's pretty darn good. And when you look at living in Sarasota, you got to know that you have to stretch to find problems of life here.
Hamilton thinks the commission needs an overhaul, whether it's term limits or more districts, but says it can't happen with the abysmal voter turnout in the spring. First, she says, city elections must move to November with the others.
And the one time we had city issues on the November ballot in 2012, 70% of city voters voted in that election.
But again, Cardamone says leave the elections where they are.
We have a low turnout. I understand that. I do also understand that people who really care about the city do go out and vote.
And the small group of people who bother to vote in March elections will continue to guide the city's future or keep it in the past.
Public policy is not built on personal preference, okay? Public policy is really about the bigger picture, the greater good.
And that one issue Hamilton points out regarding the districts, with only 3 city districts and 2 at-large seats, 3 commissioners currently reside right in the same district. Alan?
Adam, thank you. Commissioner Suzanne Atwell is standing by. When we return, we'll take it to the trapezoid.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs? Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets. and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation. We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you. Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a Taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbythebay.org.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
Welcome back. Before we can talk about the future of Sarasota city government, let's take a look at the past. Sarasota was incorporated as a local government in 1902 and officially became a city government in 1913. It was headed by mayors until 1945, when the commission manager government form was adopted. Every April, 8 commissioners elect a mayor and vice mayor from among their members. Although these titles are ceremonial, commissioners also appoint a city manager, and that title is not ceremonial. Now a respected city commissioner says she has had enough, and she joins us now. Suzanne Atwell is an at-large commissioner for the city of Sarasota. And Commissioner, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome.
You didn't just say, I'm not running again.
Mm-hmm.
When you announced you were not running, you made a point.
Yes, definitely.
That you believe that the commission form of government is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, it's a lot of reasons, and I will admit a lot of reasons went into why I decided not to run. But I think we're not dysfunctional, we're just not functioning the way I believe we should be. There has been, for the last few years, culminating now into decisions that are being made, and they're being made by a small group of very vocal people that are affecting and hijacking policy. Our commission is not doing anything about that. And that's the part that I have trouble dealing with right now.
Well, is that a matter of who is on the commission today, or is that a matter of the commission form of government? Would it be any better or worse if you had a strong mayor?
I think, and we can argue semantics about an elected mayor or a strong mayor. Historically, we do argue about that. I'm a firm believer right now that we need an elected mayor. You can quarrel with whether you want to call it strong or elected. We have fractured leadership. We have inappropriate leadership sometimes. We are at the point in this city where we have risen, forgive the pun, so high that this city needs to have much better leadership.
I personally believe the biggest example of this problem is how the city and the county do not deal with the homeless situation. And you go downtown this week, and there are more homeless individuals on Main Street than, and frankly, I've ever seen. And it's a bigger problem than other metropolitan areas. And the fact that the city commission and the county commission can't come up with a cohesive plan, I think, is the reason why many people believe that the city form of government is dysfunctional.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that, but what I feel is, first of all, homeless in this community is very intractable. It's a real serious problem, but it's a very intractable problem. We are doing so many things in this community, especially with the Salvation Army. Our part, and as our city manager, the Barwin plan, what we are doing, we've just hired a homeless coordinator and a housing locator. We are doing our part. You're right. Early on, I wanted a shelter. I was with the county commission on that. that dialogue fell apart when we became adverse to each other. The Cold War began. And we're still in the Cold War.
In fact, you wrote about that in your op-ed piece
Yes.
in the newspaper, and I want to read some of it. The relationship between the City Commission and the County Commission has never been easy, but it has become toxic. You go on to say the reasonable difference on this issue, however, has been the subsumed by the deterioration and the destructive personal relationship between both boards. I do not believe the problems are due to partisan differences between the two commissions. Both bodies allowed personal animus to obstruct the obvious need to work together. That's an indictment not only of the
Right.
City Commission, but also the County Commission.
Sure, sure. I mean, mea culpa on both sides. We have some people that start this kind of, and I don't want to call it a war, but actually it is. It is a Cold War. That I, at this point in time, will tell you the professionalism of the County Commission, the way they run the meeting. Obviously, they don't have mayor. They have a chair. Our fractured leadership on the county reflects things that are going on.
But let me get one more question in there, because you talk to people who are with the County Commission or served on it, and they look almost with disdain at the City Commission and how it's run, and they believe that the problem is with the City Commission and nothing what they do.
Well, there's a lot of examples that would validate that as far as I'm concerned. A lot of the times, as you'll see, it all comes back to who is running the city of Sarasota. When you talk about major policy issues, and a few of them lately have been so egregious that it goes right back to a small group of people are hijacking these, and the County Commission watches that. We don't have unanimity in some of the most powerful and important issues. As you mentioned before about the transportation chapter, that should have been unanimous. County Commission is, and I have to admit this, is much more professional in their voting. Not that you can't have 3-2 votes, but these major issues that affect the community, not just one neighborhood, should be unanimous.
All right, our discussion is just getting started. We'll be joined in a moment by local government reporter from the Herald Tribune and our own director of community engagement here at ABC7. But when we return, we'll have a check on the weather forecast.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, I have an important message. You may be entitled to receive disability benefits through Social Security. You'll be matched up with an advocate who will evaluate your situation, handle your application, deal with Social Security for you, and handle all appeals and hearings. Best of all, there are no upfront fees, so you pay nothing until you receive your benefits. Call the Citizens Disability Helpline today for a free, no-obligation consultation.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Our discussion of Sarasota city government continues in just a moment, but right now let's get a check on our weather. We go out live to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. He is in Lakewood Ranch for the Jingle Bell 5K. Bob.
Well, they're all running, about 2,000 of them. We're here having fun, listening to some great music. Right. Who do we have here?
This is Titan.
Hi. Titan, and you are the wife of the DJ.
Yes, Misty, and that's DJ Bustin' Justin with Party Pro DJs.
Yeah, he's busting it right now. These kids are having a great time tonight.
Yes, we're here for the slide, the festivities, the snow down there. We're having a good time.
Lots going on here. Appreciate you stopping and saying hello. All right. Have a Merry Christmas, you guys. We'll see you later. Weather couldn't be better. We're looking at generally fair skies right now. This is what was earlier today at the Lakewood Ranch webcam, and you can see we had beautiful clear skies after some fog around this morning, and the fog has since moved on, and we're looking at generally fair conditions up and down the coast right now, with temperatures cooling down just a little bit, not much, but cooling down just a little bit into the mid to upper 60s across the region. No rain around. That's the way it's going to stay too as we push on through the weekend. Now, as far as the marine forecast is concerned, we are looking for temperatures basically to be rather comfortable out there. 7-day forecast calls for highs to be in the low 80s right in through the next 7 days for the most part. So it looks to be a very warm weekend ahead. With low temperatures down into the low to mid 60s, and it looks as though we will see no chance for any significant rainfall. For boaters tomorrow, moderate chop in the morning, becoming a light chop in the afternoon. Winds running out of the east at around 10 to 15 knots to start today, subsiding to 5 to 10 in the afternoon, and then generally partly cloudy skies throughout much of the day. High temperatures in the low 80s, so it looks nice. Alan will be right back after this.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing the commission manager form of government that runs the city of Sarasota and whether or not it is time for a change. Our guests tonight are Zach Murdoch, local government reporter for the Herald Tribune, City Commissioner Suzanne Atwell, and Steve Sabato, ABC7's Director of Community Engagement. And Zach, I want to begin with you because you're on the front lines. You eyewitnessed this dysfunction. I remember a couple of weeks ago, the commissioner made a recommendation to move voting for municipal elections from the spring to November, like the rest of the world, and she didn't even get a second on that motion when everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people believe that is a way to bring more voters into the process. What was the mood in the room?
Well, not to horrify you, but that was actually months ago. That's how this year has gone. It's been like that all year. And back then, there was still some tension growing throughout the year, and the air was sucked out of the room when that happened, because there were a lot of people there that night in council or commission chambers, excuse me, that very much supported the move and had testified in support of that. It was pretty evenly split throughout the course of several meetings as far as people for and against, but when Ms. Atwell didn't even get a second to discuss it after hours and hours of testimony, I think everyone's jaw hit the floor a little bit.
Is it our imagination, or is it hard to get things done through the city commission?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there is a lot of tension in a lot of these meetings because the city commission has been dealing with some really big issues this year. And don't get anyone wrong, the city still gets lots and lots of stuff done. But the things that ultimately bubble up and become whole fights or disagreements or points of conflict have been pretty steady throughout the year, and they've been pretty intense at times.
And Steve, we cover this. We also read Zach's stories. It's out there for the world to see, and it led you to write an editorial a couple weeks ago on ABC7. And what was the thrust of your thoughts?
Well, it started off because of Susan's decision not to run again, and the thrust was twofold. One, how do we recruit and retain the best and the brightest people to run our government? And the secondary point was that in light of the form of government that we have, with the districts being very focused on very small issues and the lack of an elected mayor, we don't attract or retain the best and the brightest because the job really doesn't give the authority to people to get the job done.
You know, it occurs to me that both you and I used to work in Hartford, Connecticut.
That is correct.
And when we worked there, at least the first time, it was a weak form mayor of government. The city council had the say. It had a city manager. They changed the city charter, and they brought in a strong mayor format, and there was substantial changes in how the city was run and the development.
And there was also accountability, and I think one of the public's frustrations is the lack of accountability when decisions are made. We the public should be able to point our finger at who was responsible, and conversely, when something good happens, we should be clear about who's responsible as well. And too often, the confusion at City Hall leaves us wondering, for example, who's really responsible for the view? It's unclear, and there's just too much influence, outside influence on the process, and not enough accountability in City Hall.
But Commissioner, obviously there are good people who disagree with that, and we saw Molly Cottermone, who served on the City Commission and was mayor. She is dedicated to the city, but yet she says she does not see a problem with how we run our government here and what does and does not get done. Have you talked to her about this?
No, I mean, over the years, yes. And Molly, just to preface, former Mayor Cardamone, she was one of the first people I talked to when I ran for office back in 2005. I got some great words of wisdom. Here we disagree. I know often Mayor Cardamone has often talked about you can't touch our charter. Well, I'm one that does not believe that a city's charter or the Constitution of the United States, for that matter, is sacrosanct in that we can't have amendments. We wouldn't have the 19th Amendment. There are a lot of, we have 27 amendments. I think we need to have it more organic, and we have reached that point. Molly said, I think she said in your promotion piece, I can't imagine one person running this city. Well, That's not what's going to happen. It's one person running the city. You're getting someone that will be elected, and I hope, by all of us, all of the electorates, and not just a few neighborhoods, if we ever got to that point again where we could have an elected mayor. And that you would get a broad section of people that would come in, yes, from both parties, whatever. That's what's happening, that we're narrowing the scope so that you use the word confusion. The public is confused about what you just voted on because only one person from that neighborhood talked about it, and even though everybody else spoke to it, what happened? What happened with the commission? So,
Zach, when we started our conversation with the commissioner, we talked about the relationship with the county commission and how the commission views the county commission and vice versa. What do you see out there? What are people involved with the county commission saying when they think of Sarasota city government?
Well, Suzanne's right. There is a big difference between the two types of meetings, and there are weeks where I'll spend my Monday night with the city commission and enter an entirely different world on Tuesday and Wednesday with the county commission. And county commissioners, they kind of keep their cards close to their vests about that. No one really wants to speak openly about the discord between the two commissions, but it's certainly clear that the county commissioners intend on holding themselves up to a kind of higher standard as far as how they want to conduct meetings and how they would like to maintain communication between the two.
But you do get the sense that they view the city commission with some measure of disdain.
Well, certainly, and there's a good example of that in the argument between the city and county over the downtown community redevelopment.
Oh my gosh, we did a whole show on that.
Yes. And you could probably do 2 or 3 more, but the way that fight broke out over the course of a couple of months with intense city meetings, with some pretty specific blame on the county and some kind of personal stuff came back that way.
Steve, I asked the commissioner this very question, and she said no. She said it was not the case in her op-ed piece, but I'm wondering if this is a partisan issue because the city commission is mostly Democrat and the county commission is all Republican, and doesn't so many things in our public life come down to that these days?
Well, you know, that's it would seem that it's hard to do anything anymore without political implications. But I would suggest that this may be bigger than this is. I think what we're seeing here is a fundamental change in the city of Sarasota. We're going through an unprecedented growth development spurt with over 1,000 condominium units, 1,000 apartment rental units, and the fact is that we're becoming a destination, a metropolitan destination, and frankly, in many ways, we have outgrown our form of government, and we've certainly outgrown the capacity of some of the people, particularly when we have such small numbers elected in district offices with small voter turnout. We really need a more representative form of government so that not just the people who have their own. We have this drawbridge mentality, particularly from residents of downtown Sarasota. Just because you live in downtown Sarasota doesn't mean you own or should be able to direct policy. This is a metropolitan destination, not just for the county, but frankly for the entire southwest part of the state of Florida. So we've outgrown and are in a very exciting, positive time with great things happening, but we're being held back, I think, by a very provincial form of government.
So, Commissioner, your departure, does that mean that you are, at least in the short term, giving up on the idea or hope that anything can really change?
Well, that's a really good question. No, I will never give up that idea. I want to go, and to that point, advice to the candidates that are slowly emerging before the cutoff date, some advice that I'd give them that there is a real difference between campaigning and governing. When you campaign on the edges. If you vote for me, I'll wipe out parking meters. If you vote for me, I'll end homelessness in a year. And then if you're lucky enough to win and you're sitting on the dais with the other 4 commissioners, you have to govern, and you must govern from the center or you're not going to be, otherwise you will be doing what I worry about is happening now, that you're voting in a small block of community leaders, but they're a very small minority.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll have final thoughts from our guest in a minute.
ABC7 is proud to present Line Dance Central. Now you can learn popular country and not-so-country line dances from the comfort of your own home. Just visit mysuncoast.com, click on Entertainment, and you'll be kicking up your boots or flip-flops in no time. Brought to you by the White Buffalo Saloon and Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Florida Studio Theater presents Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, celebrating fierce women with fierce vocals from the 70s through today. Featuring songs by performers such as Cher, Tina Turner, and Reba McEntire. Don't miss what critics are saying is a lively, high-energy driving review with powerhouse singers. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Welcome back. Should Sarasota change its form of government or maintain the status quo? Our guests join us now for final thoughts. So, Zach, you cover the commission every day. What are you seeing in there, or do you see any hope that things will change?
I do see hope, and I hate to be a cynical person that thinks things just grind to a halt. I would make the case that we've gone through a lot of tough decisions this year as a city, and that's not going to stop. But that what we might call dysfunction is really more disagreement that the commissioners and 2 potentially new commissioners could very well work out as we go through the election season. And Steve, I take from what you've been saying, what we're lacking here in Sarasota is kind of like the vision thing.
Yeah, I guess my final thoughts are we're very fortunate that we live in this beautiful city. There are so many positive things going on here. Until the leadership of the Republican and Democratic Party decides that they want to have a change in the form of government here, it's probably not going to change.
Well, Commissioner, we're going to give you the last word because you certainly deserve it. We appreciate your contribution to the city and your time in government here. What do you want viewers to take away from this conversation?
Oh, I just want to say, first and foremost, it's been a privilege and an honor to have been mayor 2 years, vice mayor, and the rest of the time an at-large commissioner for 8 years. It's a privilege. And many, many reasons went into this, but as we've all discussed today, it's interesting that I'm a believer that this town has gotten to the status that you cannot continue, like you said, that we pull up the ladder. Many of the votes that we talk about and on the commission have to do with, I want to maintain my neighborhood the way it was. I want to maintain the walkways and the streets the way it was. And a lot of that is, a lot of the STOP group does that. And I know we haven't mentioned that, but that's, I want to, some of the words to the public as we move on, I would be very careful of that. STOP is not an acronym. It means stop. I am very concerned that you have, again, self-appointed people that are coming to try to deconstruct things, change things, not for the greater good. The important thing is whoever is elected, you have to look beyond the city, beyond the county, to the entire region. Every decision you make affects the entire community.
And we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you all for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Zach Murdoch covers the local government for the Herald Tribune. Suzanne Atwell is the at-large commissioner on the Sarasota City Commission, and Steve Sabato is the director of community engagement for ABC7. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus a pivot towards nuclear proliferation. Russian President Vladimir Putin says increasing his nuclear arsenal is his top priority. Find out how President-elect Donald Trump is responding in our primetime headlines.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who is live in Lakewood Ranch. Bob.
Well, just about 20 minutes ago, there wasn't many people here, but now it's packed full, all the runners. They're wrapping it up right now. This 5K jingle run is a huge success. And joining us now live is Bill Robinson, running enthusiast, as well as the sponsor of this wonderful run, and that is Fit to Run. Bill, tell me a little bit about the run tonight.
Well, it's fantastic. The weather was fantastic. The lights were great on the course. Being a night run, you never know about the lights, but for 3.1 miles, it was beautiful. And we had groups of people out there cheering us on and bands playing. It was fantastic.
It's one of the best runs. You know, they tell me there's over 2,000 people here today.
It was the largest time race in Manatee County ever.
That's pretty good, and considering that you got your race coming up too at the Robinson Preserve not too long from now, right?
Robinson Preserve, March 31st, so hopefully you're going to come out for cover that one.
Yeah, hopefully I'll run it, you know, maybe I get someone to do my 7 o'clock weathercast.
Well, that'd be great to see you out there. We'll put a number on you and seed you up front, put a number 1 on you.
Yeah, make sure you got the ambulance waiting. Thank you very much.
Well,
appreciate it.
For covering the race.
Thank you. Great race out here, raising a lot of money for a great cause, the Lakewood Ranch Medical Annex out here. Here's what's happening with our weather. The Lakewood Ranch webcam showing basically pretty nice weather all day today, except for some fog in the morning. But we are looking at generally fair conditions as we move on through. Satellite and radar picture showing some showers along the East Coast. Nothing going on here. It is all quiet, and will stay that way tomorrow. Not as much fog either. It's going to stay pretty good tomorrow morning. Dew point temperature 54, temperature actually 66, so it's nice and comfortable. This is the kind of racing weather I like. I enjoy the lower humidity too, which is at 65%. As far as the boating forecast goes, it looks to be pretty good. High warmed to 78 today, despite the fact we have fog this morning. And in the boaters, winds will be a little bit brisk out of the east tomorrow, at around 15 knots, but then subside 5 to 10 late in the day. And as far as the forecast goes, a light to moderate chop for the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 71 degrees. And the tides upcoming on your screen here in just a minute. We are looking at the 7-day too, which is going to be very warm over the next several days. We will see that into the low 80s all the way through the next 7 days, with the exception of the last day. But the holiday weekend looks to be pretty good. This is packed out here tonight, and it looks like they're all enjoying it. Now they're going to kind of have a good time out here. Back to you, Ellen.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
A poodle butter dish. I'll use this. A chicken purse. It's so artsy. You're really good at giving gifts.
This holiday, give the perfect gift.
Perfect.
Flowers, always the perfect gift. Beniva Flowers and Gifts, exceeding your expectations.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. We begin again in Germany, where the manhunt continues for the suspect who killed 12 people at a Christmas market this week. German police say they've carried out 20 raids, but still have not made any arrests. As ABC's Marcy Gonzalez tells us, U.S. investigators are now more confident than ever they know who the killer is.
New dashcam video shows the moment a truck plowed into a crowded Christmas market in Berlin Monday. You see terrified shoppers running, and then a glimpse in the distance of the horrific aftermath where 12 people were killed. German police now say it is very likely this is the terrorist who was behind the wheel. Officials explaining Anis Amri's ID was found in the cab of this hijacked semi, his fingerprints on the steering wheel and the driver's door. This wanted poster going out across Europe for the 24-year-old Tunisian national, considered armed and dangerous.
Everyone has his photo and try to find these men.
Tips coming into police by the hour, leading to at least 20 raids in and around Berlin. But still no sign of Amri, shown here in video taken after a 2011 arrest in Italy. German officials say he was monitored for months earlier this year because of suspected ties to radicals. He was also on the radar of U.S. agencies. And as the Christmas market where police say Amri carried out the massacre reopens, at least 20 people are still being treated for serious injuries. Among the 48 people injured, 2 Americans, including Richard Ramirez from San Benito, Texas. His family saying he's now out of emergency surgery in Berlin and grieving his partner of 18 years killed in the attack. And though Berlin police believe Omri could be anywhere in Europe by now, they tell ABC News they doubt it'll take much longer to track him down. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
President Obama is officially ending an immigrant registration system used to track Arab men and Muslim men. The National Security Entry-Exit Registration System was created after 9/11, but the Obama administration stopped using it in 2011. The decision to end it altogether was made only hours after President-elect Donald Trump suggested he would follow through on a ban of Muslim immigrants to the United States. What is old and cold is new again. A return to Cold War policy. Russian President Vladimir Putin is saying a buildup of nuclear capability is his chief objective next year. Putin made the announcement at a year-end meeting with his defense chiefs. He says the focus should be on weapons that can, quote, penetrate existing and future missile defense systems. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump tweeting today the United States must greatly strengthen and expand its nuclear capability until the rest of the world, as he puts it, comes to its senses. According to the U.S. Nonpartisan Arms Control Association, the U.S. has 7,100 nuclear weapons compared to Russia's 7,300. Now to North Carolina, where legislators have failed to repeal the controversial House Bill 2, better known as the bathroom bill. The bill was signed in March and bans people from using public bathrooms that don't correspond to the sex on their birth certificates. After failing to reach consensus, the legislature adjourned for the holiday break. One state House member says North Carolina is suffering because of the law.
We've lost jobs, we've lost performers, we've lost NCAA tournament games, we've lost the NBA All-Star game. Gay and transgender North Carolinians have suffered and been at direct risk for discrimination and violence, and we failed yesterday.
Both sides blame the other for the failure to repeal the bill. The legislature will be back in session on January 11th. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.